right, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about this one because our guest returns to the platform that he helped build, the movement that he's led, the All Wrestling Matters movement. A man that hasn't been here in 8 months. Where has the time gone? Well, I'll tell you where the time is going when it comes to our guest. He is all over the place. TikTok influencer, YouTube star, Instagram aficionado, and you see him all over the place, hobnobbing with the who's who of people. Michael Douglas, Ricky Gervais. I've seen him with Mr. Olympias. I've seen him with this WWE star, that WWE star, and even one of my favorites, Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson's got a movie coming up, and that was a good one. I got to say, talk about that we'll most certainly do, and we have so much to get into because our guest hasn't been here in months. He's going to talk about what's on his mind. He's going to talk about what movies he liked, what movies he didn't like. He's going to most certainly talk about the wrestling world, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and whatever else. And he's going to talk about pretty much your questions. He'll give you his answers, and who knows whatever else. But, as everybody's talked about Sportswire Radio these last few months, it is because of this man that we've made it this far, nearly 1,400 subscribers, and to have those magical moments with the man beast, the War Machine Rhino, and the man that maybe what some would say is responsible for the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Savio Vega. And forget about all of that because this man, and as a matter of fact, it's funny because it's 8 months almost to the day, but it's also almost 2 years to the day that our guest came on this platform for the first time. It was the end of February 2023, and now we're in February 2025. So what an irony this is, and you know what? You've wanted it. He wants it. We've been waiting for this for months. I've seen him here. I don't know why he's up sometimes, U.S. time, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and he just wakes up. And for whatever reason, one wrestler last week said that he's been woken up by my introductions at 2 o'clock in the morning. This man figuratively and literally has been woken up by my introductions because he's usually in my chat. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I can't sleep, and I see this person on and that person on, and he's got something to say, but it's his time now to hold serve. It's his time now to take his rightful throne at not only the head of the Sportswire radio table, but the head of, as I stated, the All Wrestling Matters movement. This is the man that is the greatest guest in our history. This is the man that is one of the greatest draws in wrestling history, certainly in UK wrestling history. And I know he wants this show to get on the road. So I am going to give him now that introduction in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, and the platform, as I've stated, that he has helped build, the platform where he helped us get to Rhino and Savio Vega. Let's get the show on the road here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. A man that is one of the greatest TikTok influencers of all time. A man that is now one of the rising YouTube stars. Instagram aficionados. John Cena has nothing on him. Ricky Gervais has nothing on him. Cody Rhodes definitely has nothing on him. And Woody Harrelson, he tried to run, but he couldn't hide because our guest is, simply put, the greatest guest in Sportswire Radio history, and we acknowledge him as the Ain't easy being cheesy. My friend, how are we doing?
They want it. It ain't easy being cheesy. That's the mental. You've really got better at that. You've well got better at that. I'm great. How are you?
I think the intros, I think the intros have gotten better. I think I was good 2 years ago, but now it's like I actually had one wrestler message me just before and said, I was in the mirror and I was trying the intro. And, so, I mean, I feel like they've taken a life of its own. It's funny. Rick Marcus was here last Monday in your chair. He goes back 4 years. And, I was like, yeah, I had a little bit of the intro, but now it's like an event. It's almost like people like, okay, I heard the intro.
Savio Vega liked it, didn't he?
What's that?
Savio Vega liked it.
Oh my God, Savio Vega loved it. Right, off the air, even they were like, "I never heard anything like it before." I mean, it's it's taken a life of its own. It's it was good 2 years ago, but now it's like it's an event. Like if I don't do it that way, and it's funny when Taylor Trutz was here last year, I almost thought my voice was gonna crack. I mean, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm good." So, but enough about that. How are you doing, my friend? So good to see you in the flesh and womb.
To see you.
Finally.
It's it's mad how it's been like 8 months and it don't feel like it's been 8 months and it don't feel like it's been 2 years since we first had our interview. That time has literally flew, and we've got plenty of stories to fit in that. Where do we go?
You become a public figure. You've become somebody that well, seriously. I mean, you've met all these wrestlers, all these actors, entertainers, Manchester United. I mean, all these football players around the world. You've become. I mean, more people probably know you now than when I first met you. When they knew you as this wrestler, you become so big.
Yeah, people in the street now get photos with me, which I'm always good to do that.
In my own neighborhood, I get a couple of people here and there. I seen you on Facebook, which is nice. Which is, I don't get it to your degree, but I get a couple here and there. But I mean, really, like I would say in the last 8 months. I mean, you were getting there 8 months ago, but you've become almost like a public figure, almost.
Yeah, I'm getting there. It's a constant grind, though, as you know. You just keep plugging it out, and material, something different.
You don't put anything out. If you don't post, you lose that allure. You lose, especially when you're a content creator. If you're somebody that gets paid as a streamer, it's basically like you got to be.
It's snakes and ladders. You keep going up them ladders. As soon as you don't post, you're down.
That's it. That's why you see me every day on Sportswire, because I know one day you lose one day. I mean, you're knocked down like 10 months. So it's, I know. It. Look at where you've been. Think about this. We'll get to you in a minute. Look at where you were. We first spoke 2 years ago. We're talking about your career. It was fun. But look at where you are. And I would even say like Sportswire, 2 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I definitely had my following. It was definitely there. But now, having the WWE guys come on. I just had 4 other pro wrestlers come here, and I have to turn down some of the other pro wrestlers. I mean,
I was so proud when you got Rhino and Savio Vega. Also, the man has grinded for that.
Yeah, you know what? That was really like that was 6 years of every day. I had a lot of people doubt me, like you. People were like, why are you doing this still? I remember at home, I would do the shows. My mother's like, I hate this podcast. Now I'm a fan. Yeah, you're great. But that's how it goes. But look at, how far you've gone out there. Even me, 2 years ago, you come on here. I was mostly just a Facebook streamer, had maybe 125 subscribers, 1,400 Facebook, almost 3,000. Instagram, I'm going up on Instagram. I'm almost at 2,000 on Instagram. Yeah. I was at one point like 400 followers, maybe 1,700 following. So,
well, I have some of my success off you because I inbox you a lot and go, "What do you think of this?" So I have to give some credit to you.
You also come in the chat and we give you a plug. It's one good thing you come here. So some of the guys know. Anthony Steele called and said, was the Tribal Cheese coming on today? People were like, some of the guys were like, "Is he coming on? Is he coming?" People,
he's here. He is here, and it's raw.
So let's open it up. I mean, for those that are listening and watching, you're in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform you, the Tribal Cheese, most certainly helped build as our head of the Sportswire radio table. What's life been like the last 8 months?
Well, I think the last time we spoke and I was on the radio, you played the video when I was like really down in the dumps. I was having a shit time in life, So I've made changes throughout the laundry, and I've made changes, and a lot of the posts are like more positive now. And we get there, don't we? We climb the ladder of success. That's what we do. and we're getting there stage by stage. We're getting there, and I mean, one of the stages that I was having a lot of stress with was the wrestling business, which is why I took myself out of that equation, and I'm here.
That's good, but look at what you've done. Since you've done things, and again, we love what you did in wrestling. Obviously, being a part of CCW and all that stuff. But in the real in the world, I mean, what you've done outside of that, it's just amazing how you've just become this figure. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, I don't know what you would have done in the wrestling world had you stayed in CCW, but what you've done on social media and Instagram, YouTube almost 4,000 subs. TikTok broke the 10,000 reach. I know you were grinding for 10,000 for a while.
I was grinding for that. Yeah, I was grinding.
I know. Listen, but you made it. I mean, that's got to be a cool feeling and as such.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, there's some infamous posts that people don't talk about that got me there because controversy creates cash. There's been
I've been down that road on the platform. Like you, I'm moving for a positive notes these days. So I understand what you're saying. I understand.
Well, people love the negative posts. I mean, I've got so many negative posts out there, but I'm like, do I want to take the shit for putting that out there? And that would get the popularity way good. But I think I put out a lot of positives. So it's good to get a positive following, but. And bastards are still out there, the haters that'll still shit on you no matter what you do.
Yeah, I understand. We had, a situation here a few months ago with certain things, and we're not going to go down that road. But I mean, when you're out there, do you feel pressure having to post constantly? I never asked this question. It's you and James who are like the people that are legit influencers, and as a social media,
well, sometimes like get lost in the real world, and you just sit on your phone way too much, but. When they're not plugging the content themselves, they don't realize how much it takes to plug out. You'll know it takes effort, so it looks like you're constantly on it, but you're making the platform to give yourself an easier life. That's what you're doing. So, like, it's all different. You're doing it on X, you're doing it on Instagram, you're doing it on TikTok.
X. So, I gotta be honest. I haven't given up on X, but it's like.
X is dead. That's
yeah. I know people are talking about Blue Sky, but X. I mean, I'm on there.
X is good when another platform shuts down. You go to X to see what's happened. That's when.
Yeah, I don't count anything to me. My main platforms are YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I think those are the four. Anything else, I don't care.
I mean, a WhatsApp status update is more relevant than X.
yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it's still a lot though to be. You always have to find that right post, that right fight. You're meeting all these people. I mean, I have to ask you. You just meet Michael Douglas recently, one of the greatest actors of all time. I mean, like that's one. I know you've met Cena. I know you've met Rhodes. I know you've met Lashley, a whole list of others, Rhea, but like, what was that like? I saw that on YouTube earlier. And I mean, what was it like with Michael Douglas?
Oh, he's an icon, isn't he? You just
sure.
Falling down is just a typical man's bad day. The film that was brought up on him. He was a dude. He was a legit dude, Douglas. He was very small. Yeah, as you say, he's very small, but he was a good dude. How old is he now? He's got to be in his 80s.
I would say he's got to be, because when he did the original Wall Street, he had to be about 40-ish. So I would say he had maybe 81. Somebody will call me that.
Yeah. There's a video of me getting him at the private jet, and you can just see the guy. Yeah, he's a good guy, really, really good. There's no negatives to say about him, really. But yeah, that was the time for us.
So yeah, I mean, I'm giving him credit. I mean, he definitely, had a real catch there. But you were really, I didn't know you were a golf fan, by the way. I saw you have some golf videos on YouTube. I didn't know you were. It was with Jordan Ram, I think it was one of them recently. Right?
No. I'm a golf fan, but I'm horrendous at playing it. So
I was going to say, you don't strike me as a golfer. All due respect, you do not strike me as a golfer. I mean, there might be a lot of things you do good at, but golfing.
I'm not a golfer at all, or snooker, or darts. I'm horrendous at all of them.
Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. And, Michael Douglas is 80. He just turned 80. So
hey, okay.
80. So, all right, that was a good one. And Woody Harrelson. I mean, Woody Harrelson has a movie coming out. That's another one. I know people want to hear you talk about the wrestling ones.
I'll tell you Woody Harrelson's story because he is a strange one.
I want to hear Woody Harrelson. I want to hear him.
He just comes out and he don't sign autographs. He don't believe in idolization. And someone says to me he was getting him for a role of playing a football player. He literally just goes to a park that's across the road from his hotel and just joins in a game of football with people. Just plays. Just imagine that you're playing football. He just goes and plays on a park right near there. Comes out and that's his thing. He's just a regular Joe guy, which is kind of weird to see. But it's one of them things that I didn't film. Was just like, wow, a bit weird.
You should have filmed that. You would have had like 10 million views on that.
Just sometimes you don't think, and you just get caught up in the moment. I've had loads of moments like that. You just caught up in it.
No, it makes sense. You said he played on the playground. You know, White Man Can't Jump. That makes sense. He was in another movie that I know, Natural Born Killers, but I was really a big fan of a movie called Money Train with him and Wesley Snipes. And
I've not seen that. Yes, that's a classic.
And that was, Jennifer Lopez in there before.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Had, the backside. Let's just put it that way. Before she was getting there, but that was one of my favorite.
I love your movie knowledge. I love it. I always forget this.
Well, yeah, but I did love that movie, and Jennifer Lopez played like a rookie cop in the movie, and now, she's no longer a rookie. Let's just put it that way. But let's just leave it at that. I know people are here in the chat. I do want to give somebody a special shout out. That is obviously the family. First of all, the family's here, and we definitely.
This is my sister.
Oh well, thank you for tuning in, Tribal Cheese Sister. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your day. Good to see you, and that's great. I know a lot of people are here. Mr. Barris is here. I'm going to announce something with Mr. Barris. Mr. Barris is back on Sportswire. I'll tell you that when. So, all right. So, I mean, you've done all this. I mean, are there any celebrities? I know I've asked you before, but who do you want to meet this year? Who in 2025 does the Tribal Cheese want to meet this year? Who do you want to meet?
You.
You know what? I'm like the 57th person that wants to meet me. I literally don't joke. I could show you screenshots, the conversations on in Facebook Messenger. Yes, I would like to meet you too. I would meet you.
I want a random one. I want to meet Mr. Beast.
That's an interesting one. All right, that's
just to build that platform. He's like, he's got to be the most famous man on the planet. He's got to be up there.
Well, he wants to buy TikTok, which is why you definitely want to meet him, because then you can have a conversation with him about maybe how I can get more followers.
It's Elon Musk I want to meet. I thought about it the other day. Elon Musk.
Well, it's funny. We had one of the wrestlers, Chase Wakefield, here. He was at a seminar, like, I don't know, 3 months ago, and Elon Musk. He was an Elon Musk seminar he went to, or something like that. Didn't meet him, but he went there for. That's an interesting one. Elon Musk.
To simplify it for Hollywood, it's ones that I'm realistically not going to meet, or like they're really knocking on, which is Gene Hackman and Clint Eastwood.
Gene Hackman's a good one. Gene Hackman
he just lived in Thailand, just doing what he does for the past 20 years. I think his last film was Enemy of the State, and just Clint Eastwood, just a legend. People that you just
Clint Eastwood's still going. 92, I think. He's 92.
Yeah. Like the old crooners. That's who I want to meet.
I'm surprised you didn't say like a famous actress. I'm surprised you didn't say like Kim Kardashian. I'm surprised.
No, come on. I don't.
Why not?
Just a reality star, really. She's not a real star.
But I would want to maybe, take her on a date. I mean, I would sure,
I don't think to give me a second.
Well, I mean, you and me both, but I would still say, Kim Kardashian.
This is the only look she'd give me.
Well, I've always wanted to meet Jennifer Lopez. I've always, I've wanted to meet, I mean, she's single now. I mean, although, I hear Kevin Costner might be next, but I mean,
she's been through a few.
That's why I think I might have a shot. I have a couple of zeros to my name. I'm sure I could afford the date. I don't know if I'm going to get the next one, but, I would think, that would be some names, but, okay, so that's a good one, Gene Hackman. And, so have you seen any movies recently? Have you seen anything you see? I know people are waiting for wrestling. We're gonna get to wrestling. Don't you worry.
I've seen Flight Risk, which should be renamed Shite Risk. It's absolute utter turd. Don't watch it. Don't waste your time on it. I watched Better Man, which was good. Better Man was good. Bobby Williams film. That was a good film.
Did you see Sonic yet? Did you see Sonic?
I've seen Sonic yet.
You didn't see Sonic? No, stop. You're lying.
It'll be one of those that I'll marathon with the niece and nephew. Go once.
That's why I thought you would have went, because you go to the movies with them. Did they want to see Sonic?
Well, they've watched like a couple of films, like The Wild Robot, which is amazing. Paddington, couple like that. There's been a couple that they want to watch. Moana. There's been a few films that they've wanted to watch.
What I saw, which I don't know, some people wouldn't have liked. I saw the Bob Dylan movie. I just saw the.
think over past that.
You were past that. Well, they wouldn't have want to saw. Then I saw it was a really good movie, kind of like a indie movie. It was Inside the Fire. It was with the first American female to win not only 1 gold medal but 2 in boxing. It was a really good movie. I mean, she was
I did see the trailer. Yeah, I know which one.
I saw it on Christmas. That might have been the best movie I've seen in ages. But you know, I do want to see the Woody Harrelson movie, not just because you met him, but I actually saw the trailer yesterday for it. It looked really good. You know, it looked.
Well, you've got a unique taste when you like Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray films, because they're always out there.
Well, but you know what? They're similar in a lot of ways because they're actors that they do things that are unpredictable. They're unpredictable actors. Woody Harrelson, like you said, you meet him and then he just wants to go to a park and watch a football game or
join in a football game. Join in.
Well, maybe that's why it makes him the actor that he is. But if you are here, do me a favor. Go hit a sub for the Tribal Cheese. He's almost at 4,000 subs. He's at 39 something. So go out there. I see a lot of people here want to talk to you. We're going to get to the chat in 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll take care of that. I have to ask you this question because I've been asking everybody this question here at the beginning of the year. What are your goals for 2025? Whether it's for social media, more followers, whether it's to meet more people, what are your goals for the year coming up? Yeah, what are your goals? I mean, you're a somebody now.
I don't know if you see me post on like New Year's Eve, New Year, New Me, and all that shit. I don't believe in that. I live for the memory.
I think I saw something. I don't know if you posted or it was somebody else that people have New Year's resolutions, and by the second or third Friday in January, they give up on the resolution.
I'm going to successfully make some, though. I'll get some pounds off, get in a bit better shape. I feel like a bit sluggish. And to get my nieces and nephew to the top of Ben Nevis, that's an achievement for me.
You go to all these, you climb these mountains. Like, I mean, how do you do that? I mean, I know we spoke about it before.
You forget about everything. You get tunnel vision when you're on a good walk. You get tunnel vision. You get to the top, do it, and you just forget about everything. That's all you do. So I tunnel vision the top and I go for it. So that I just love it. It's got to have a
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. It's interesting. It's fascinating.
I won't do it in a terrible weather. I don't see that's enough. I need to turn back and look.
I was going to ask you. Would you ever say, "Hey, I want to do it when it's raining out"?
No, I don't. I melt in the rain. That's like my kryptonite. I go. I'm dead.
Well, as a newspaper carrier, the worst thing is rain. You snow. You know, I could deal with snow at 4 o'clock in the morning, but rain is like I want to give up already. I want to give up already. But that's interesting thing. I think the mountain stuff is good. I think I never had a New Year's resolution. I don't think I ever had one. I just look at it like if I want to do something.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're going to do something, just do it. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to do this. Just do it. If you want to do it, do it.
I think, and we're here with well, I think what it is, some people need that. They need that boost. They need that.
You don't. If they need boost, listen to me.
I just go out and do it. I've always been, my mindset was always, I had a professor in college, and I always said this story. If you don't get up, you die. It was funny. He was like this old guy. He was a little short, midgety guy, and I never forget it. And I'm sitting there in class, I'm in my own thought, and he was just like, if you sit on the couch all day, you sit around, you die. Like, okay, I'm going to get up.
Yeah, that's it. I agree with that.
And he lived till he was like, and he was teaching, at that time, he had to have been in his 70s, late 70s. He lived till like,
I think I'll still be walking mountains in my 80s. I can see it if I'm alive that long.
I think you will. I think you will. I think you're going to live till you're like 140. No joke. I think right now, the mindset you've got, the following that you have, everything that you're doing. I mean, you're right now on top of the world. I mean, you literally are on top of the world. I mean, I think you're more known now than when you were in wrestling because of just the amount of people you're meeting and such.
That is a fact. Now that is a fact. Yeah, I'm more known now than when I was in wrestling. Yeah, factual. I mean, if I come back, there would be a pop and a different type of a crowd.
Well, you're on a different level now. I mean, you're on a level that it's like you're known. I mean, I know James Taylor's known for his stuff, but I I think it's different with you because you're going out in the public. I mean, we love James on here, but he's doing like Stone Cold Steve Austin reels, and which is, I mean, he gets like you millions of views on a few of them, but he's not in the public meeting people. You're going here, you're going there, you're meeting Bobby Lashley, you're meeting Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, you're meeting Ricky Gervais, you're meeting, and then people know you from these different things. So it's almost like, yeah, I know him. So in a sense, you've got a totally different dynamic, which is why I think, if you're the one guy that goes back into the ring, you would get a totally different following because of just what you've now attracted. I would say even before the last 8 months, for the past year.
Being in the Royal Rumble attraction, a different one.
Well, I mean, do you ever have regrets and say, I wish I wasn't this social media influencer?
No.
So why?
Don't have me down that type of guy. I just don't have regrets, because I know, like, there's only one company I'll come back to, by the way. If I was ever going to come back, it'll be CCW.
Oh, yeah, of course. CCW is...
I hate a lot of people. I hate a lot of these wrestling promoters that are seedy bastards, assholes. They can't wrestle for shit. Open the promotions. They know who they are. I'll name them if they really want me to name them. But James Barris gets so much hate for being a loving family man, and I don't know why, and it pisses me off.
You know what? I'm going to tell you why. Because James Barris gets hate because James Barris has been successful. James Barris, every CCW show, he sells them out. James Barris, like me, James Barris goes into his community, supports his community. He goes out there, whether it's for Mercy's fight, whether it's the way he's honored Mr. Carnage, whether he's opened his doors to so many people, given people opportunities. He gets hit, and I understand where he's coming from because I've
always be part of the CCW name now, won't you? Because you've done the community wrestling.
Yes, and by the way, James is here Thursday night. James is back on the platform. I mean, James, I understand he gets hate because he's successful. In life, you get hate when you're successful. You've gotten it. I've gotten it. James has gotten it because we go out there. We're also genuine. People look to, you said it yourself last time you were here. You got to be a leader, not a follower. When you're somebody that has your own trail, and James has done that. Listen, James, nothing to take away from you or myself, but James started this during a worldwide pandemic. I mean, what he did, really, nobody else had the foresight to do. He's got multiple promotions now. He's given person after person opportunities. DJ B's doing a great job out there.
How many stars has he made as well? How many stars has he made?
I would say at least
company, he's 14. Made loads from the bottom. Give him a chance.
Yeah, I would say at least a dozen over the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, I've known James 3 I would say at least a dozen. At least.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean that's why he gets hate because again he goes out there. So these other guys that they have the same matches with the same companies. They come on here and 4's on the live, 3's on the live. They don't have that reaction, but James has got a devoted fan base because he's always been about the community. And that's
if there's any CCW fans in it as well, I still love them all.
He's here. I know
they talk to me regular. They ask me if I'm coming back. They are in my inbox.
Well, you know what? I got to be honest, guys on this platform. Anthony Steele, I want to wrestle the Tribal Cheese. Home in Black. It's my platform. I want to wrestle. Everybody wants to wrestle. Everybody asks, when you coming back?
The people that want to wrestle me probably didn't see the last match I had with Hybrid. Do you want to show them that? And they'll never want to wrestle me. We can talk about that match because in my mental state, I should not have got in that ring that night.
Well, I'd rather watch that match than a Palmer match, but that's a different show. Different show for a different time.
I can tell you his entire matches he's put for his past 5 years.
Well, I mean, look, you know what? But I think also I still disagree because people, would just because of your name, you've done outside of wrestling. I think there'll always be a demand for you to go out there, but I think you're happy right now. I think what you're doing. What you're doing right now far exceeds your wrestling career just because of the amount of people that you're reaching. Yeah, and I agree with you. The only place you could come back is CCW because that's the only place.
It's factual.
And that's the only place where you'll matter. To me, the only place where your fans will get what they deserve and where you will be treated and promoted the right way and your name will help them is CCW. To me, anywhere else you go to with all nothing, no issue here. You go anywhere else, you're just a drop in the bucket. You're just
Well, if they go to anywhere else, I know they all want to get me beat. They all want to shit on me.
because they
The jealous, hatred.
he doesn't. Yeah, I know. Listen, we're not gonna go down that road, but yeah, you know what? I know it. But CCW, that's the place that you'll be. But right now, I think you're happy. I think
I am happy. You know what I ask you? How many washed-up wrestlers do you know that have now promoters that put themselves over?
a lot.
You in your seat.
A lot, yeah, a lot. I would say there's a lot of them. Yeah, I mean, legitimately, yeah. I mean, there's wrestlers turned promoters, yeah, and they, and it's a topic. But you know what? Look, that's up on them. But you're really exceeded all of that. You've just become this figure. I mean, you know what? I've had you on, I don't know, 6, 7 times right now. But this is the most happy I've ever seen you. This is your most happy you've been. You're just doing good. You're in the community. You got a following, 10,000 followers on TikTok. I mean, that's just wild, right? You ever stop and think?
Right. With no paid for followers, that's constant grind, real people.
Yeah, I know the feel. Listen, I only have a few thousand on Facebook. Facebook's a big one. I got 2,600 on Facebook. Instagram, I'm almost to 2,000.
I don't even know how you check how many followers you've got on Facebook.
If you have a professional dashboard, it'll tell you.
Oh, right, okay. You can text me later, please.
I'll check for you. But yeah, I mean, like, I think just to have, it's a grind. It's a constant garbage. I got to give you. So I want to do it now because if people want to talk to you, I want to give this to you because I have something special for you. This is the first of any wrestler that's gotten this.
Can you show me your T-shirt as well first before we go on?
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go. It ain't easy being cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy.
What?
Yeah, listen, I had to listen, it's funny. I was going to do my video earlier, but then I realized, shoot, I was wearing yesterday's show shirt. So I got to make sure I put on this shirt. If I don't do that, you're going to come over there. You're going to beat me up. I mean, we don't want to do that. You're going to, definitely give me, you're going to turn into Roman Reigns. Yeah, what are you going to do? Seth Rollins after the Rumble here. But I got to give you this because you mean so much to us. And I want to do something special because even though you've been here before, you've been in the Hall of Fame, we've given you days, you're the first of any kind to get this here. It is Tribal Cheese Month in the entire month of February. Entire month. I'm not just giving you a day. I'm not just giving you a week. I'm giving you the whole month. This is Tribal Cheese Month on Sportzwire Radio because to me, you mean that much to us. And I spent a lot of time getting this right. I wanted to make sure I got the spelling right, the date. But, really... you're the first. I know we've done CCW month on here and kind of intertwined, but you're the first wrestler to get a month, or the first individual. I mean, we just had on the football team yesterday here in New York, but I mean, you're the first person of anywhere. We've been doing this for all these years. I've been doing the certificates for a year and a half. Now you're the first one to get your own month. Congratulations.
Thank you. No one ever forgets the first as well, did I?
You're the first one for their own month. I feel like that's
the topic as well. Your signature is now beautiful.
It's funny you said that. We have Sean Jovi on Wednesday. And
I got your first one, like.
I know. I had some bad ones. Allmark. Sadly, Dean Allmark's got a crummy signature of mine, and he wants to come back on Sportswire. Now for that one, I better get a better signature, actually. He heard about the Rhino interview, so I have to really now make sure that I do better with him. But, yeah, my signature, I've done like 500 certificates by now, so I better have a better signature, right? I better have a better one, because if I don't...
Every show for February, I'm acknowledged.
Every month, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to even go further. I'll put the certificate up every show. So every show, seriously, because I mean, I'm on my time later on. So, I mean, I'll definitely, put it up. But
yeah, and I'm sure it'll be tuned in at about 3 or 4 a.m. when you're on.
Well, you'll slightly earlier today, but the point is taken. But, you deserve it. Really.
Thank you. It means a lot.
But you know what? You mean a lot because you've gone through so much. You've grinded, you've really overcome a lot, and I think there's no better person to have a month than you. For everything you've done, you've always been so gracious to your fans. You've treated other wrestlers, with dignity, respect. You've conducted yourself, as, with your family, everywhere you've been. And I think to me, this is just a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer that you get this. And, we can't thank you enough for everything you do for our sport, really, and for what you do for the entertainment now, because you've become an entertainer now.
True.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Definitely means a lot. Yeah, more entertainer slash wrestler slash content creator.
Well, you are that. That I know. Let me get to the chat. A lot of people want to talk with you. We're going to do that here now. We're going to put some links up in a minute. Zilla, I think Zilla was here last time you were here. She would like to say hello. Zilla is here. I think Zilla was here the first time you were
here. We need to give a shout out for Zilla, because it's people like Zilla that make the platform grow.
Zilla, and you know what? Zilla
through the chat.
I wish she would come on more, but she's here every single stream. Doesn't matter. You're the big name. Anthony Steele was here. Yes, 2 days ago. The football team. Even Rhino. She's here for the big ones, and even the little ones, the little guys that might get the 4 on the live, the 5 on the live, but she's one of them. She's always there.
That's what you want. That's what you want. The loyal people. That's what you want. Always support.
Those are the people with nothing with. And speaking of people who always message me, Mr. OK is here. And I'm okay because Mr. OK is here.
Peter loves a message.
He does. He messaged me on Facebook. He's like, is he going to be here? I'm like, yes, he's going to be here. Don't worry. He's going to be here. He's here. And he did want to give you the, the reference there. I got to give a shout out to my big buddy, Mr. Ed Pizzo of Dually.com. Ed is trying to change, I guess, the way we do things. He wants people to vote on almost duels, competition battles. It's on Dually.com. It's basically, he's going to change the landscape of wrestling and other forms of arts.
Okay.
And,
okay.
Fanny's here. Also, what a rare. Been
what
here.
A rare. That's you have a catchphrase. That's my catchphrase online. What a rare.
Well,
you might hear that a few times.
Thank you for that. Definitely for that. Speaking of that, there you go. The fans are coming here. They're coming. Rare. There you go. And, Mr. Barris is here, who's going to be here Thursday. I'm not sure what time we're here.
We just plugged in well as well, haven't we? Yes, I hope you've seen all that.
Mr. Barris, CCW's going through, it's interesting times in CCW. And we played your sister. My buddy who's here Friday, Mr. Darkron, by the way, he just reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Good. Keep grinding. Keep grinding.
You know what? This man, like you, such a good man, always here, returning to the ring, a family man, went through a lot outside of wrestling. And just, these are the people that, that's who I'm here for. And I keep telling him, if he better not change for the rest of his career. And he said, it's great to see you back. I agree. Of course, Mr. Hardcore, the legendary Mr. Hardcore is here. And yes, back to the
OTG.
love Mr. Hardcore. Casey Jack Bradley, who I just saw not too long ago. He debuted. He actually came on here New Year's Eve, my time. He came on here, came on Sportswire. Came on here live. I just saw him a few weeks ago with Sean Only in the ring, and he's on his way up. Thank you for that. Thank you for tuning in, my man. Go Cheesy. Joe Siggy's in the house. How you doing? H. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Okay. H. Cheesy. There you go. Dan's here. Dan, got his hands. And if you're here, hit the sub button for the Tribal Cheese. We would really appreciate that. Who else we got here? Yep, Zilla. Yep, we'll see who we got here. Need that. Now, there you go. The people. Dan's here in the house. Need that cheese. Need that cheese. I referenced in my video, put that cheddar on the popcorn. I mean, I'm not a cheddar popcorn guy or a cheese popcorn guy. My popcorn's got to be just butter, nothing else. I don't know about you, but
sweet and butter. Nah, and I throw a few M&Ms in just to mix it up.
You know what's passable for me? Caramel popcorn. You ever have like the caramel popcorn? That's passable.
Or caramel.
Yeah, passable. Thank you. He meant to say hi. The Big Cheese. Yes, we need to do charity dually events. Yes, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Working. I'll put the dually website up later. Yep. Hello.
Kelly's here.
He's here. He does ask when you're returning. A lot of people were asking. See, there you go. They're asking for another Marco Ray music. Thank you,
legend. Now you need to check out Marco Ray's music as well.
I'm gonna put it up while you do that. I'll put up his YouTube link. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Yeah. He does like Hans Zimmer composing stuff and that. Fantastic guy. Best friend for many years. He's in there.
You know what? Well,
I'm not seeing him in a while. I feel bad because he messages it when we're gonna meet. But
just got one sub. You guys got one sub. Now I'm gonna put.
I thought you'd do better than that.
We are, but I'm gonna sub on the Sportswire Radio YouTube page, and then I just got one from the PWF page, and now I'm gonna go like this because I'm gonna give you 2 subs off the bat, and now you're gonna have 49 subs. And if you're here in the chat right now, there is a bunch of people on YouTube. Do me a favor, hit the sub for Marco, so there we'll get him to 50 and 50.
Come on, Marco.
Marco's got the music. Yeah, he's got a lot of music on here. He's got.
Hey, he's got some great stuff.
He's got actually, you know what? He's got some really good stuff. He's got some big views too. Well, Halloween, 5,300 views. He's got Blade Runner, Nightwish is a good one. Boy, Nightwish is a good one.
Yeah, you had Hans Zimmer like that actually like told him it's good. Like what verified.
Wow. Well, he's playing Halloween.
Yeah.
Wow.
Put it on.
Wow, Marco's good.
He's good. He's good. He'll be buzzing to this.
This is why I'm not playing the piano anymore.
He needs to plug his platform better, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, 49 subs. We'll get him a few tonight. But he's good. He's good. We appreciate you, Marco. I gotta run. I gotta talk to more people in the chat. We'll come back to you. But who else we got here? Hi to Marco. Yep. Yep. And Zilla would love to see you return in the ring, and she appreciates you. Well, he's here right now. The Tribal Cheese is doing just fine without wrestling. There you go. But I'll always be wanting that return. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It makes sense. Good analogy. Congrats. Congratulations, Tribal Cheese.
How good do you think the pop would be if they come back?
You want my honest opinion? I think he'd be bigger than RPD's.
Yeah?
I do. Because RPD, who's here Wednesday, but I think people, they've seen him already. They know him in all these places. I mean, I'm not taking, we're very happy to have him back Wednesday night, but they've seen him everywhere. You haven't. It's almost like that build, right? You know, look at Punk, right? When Punk came back, there was that build. How about Cena and the Royal Rumble, right? There was that build. There was that, when you coming back, it has that where, I haven't seen him in a while. You're an attraction. You've always been, if you looked at your wrestling career, you've always been an attraction. You're not guy, you're not there. All marks every show. Martin Kirby, I just read something on Facebook, wrestled 200 times last year, which is the 4th most in the world. An amazing accomplishment. He's one of the very, I've spoke to him once off the air. Hell of a guy. But you're different. You're in the vein of like an Undertaker. You're in the vein of like before Janelle Grant with Brock Lesnar. You're in that vein where I have to put it out there. But you're in that vein of like, I see you, but it's almost like going to the movies, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah. A rare pop. Yeah. You do get in that in your head, like, do you want to hear that pop once more? But do you want the drama?
That's what makes you special. That's why it ain't easy being cheesy. But again, I love Martin Kirby. I mean, he's one of the greatest talents this country has ever, produced, really. He wrestled 200 times last year. You're not wrestling 200 times. You're just, that's not who you are.
When you wrestle that much, you just watered down. I mean, yeah, great, one of the best. But I don't know. I've always thought like if you put yourself out too much, it's like having the chips every day. I've always said that, and then you want a different change. You want your.
Well, I think it just, but I think there's just that now he's different because he's got a talent. You're getting technical wrestling from a technical aspect that's in the vein of a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
He doesn't do interviews, does he? I don't think he does interviews. No, I didn't think he did.
Somebody actually connected me with him. We spoke. I mean, he was a nice guy, but he does not do interviews. He just does.
Yeah, I didn't think he did. No.
He's because he wrestles every week, multiple times. Think about it. 52 weeks in a year, he wrestles 200 matches. So that means he wrestled 4 times a week. It's 4 times. WWE guys, and that's why, with Kirby, just for a minute on him, what he's done is so impressive. Is WWE guys don't wrestle that much anymore. It's not like they used to be, where they wrestled.
I only found that on like the Vince McMahon documentary talked about that. They used to do 7 days, didn't they? Like
Bret Hart wrestled one year. He wrestled like 303 matches.
Yeah.
And now they don't. They wrestle.
What was Hulk Hogan's feat that he said he wrestled?
1 day, I think, right?
He went to
1 day. He was doing 2 a days. You go to one town. Let's say you do Boston and you do Toronto, or you do Detroit and you do Chicago, or something like that. Yeah, or New York and Philadelphia. Yeah, you do an afternoon, and then you do the evening show. He would do the 12 o'clock Eastern time, right?
Well,
Maybe
when we're talking about Hogan, can we say, did you think it was out of order that he got booed in LA?
What do I think about it? I think I mean
Because I think without Hulk Hogan, you do not have wrestling.
I think the rest. Well, we had this conversation on Sportswire a few weeks ago. I think that the wrestling fan though today, who saw Hulk Hogan in the ring?
Me?
But you'd have to think about it. Hogan's heyday, realistically, Hogan's last run of any relevance was what, 2005. He had that little run in 2005. He came back, wrestled Shawn Michaels, had a match with Kurt Angle on Raw. Had a couple tag team matches.
Stone Cold's last run was about 03, relevant run. He still gets a pop.
Stone Cold's been on TV more. The wrestling fan knows Stone Cold more. Stone Cold also had the podcast, Broken Skull Sessions.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like with Hogan, this wrestling fan today, you'd have to be what, 35 now as a minimum to really know Hogan's run of last run. It's not counting the TNA run, not counting the cups of coffee he's had here and there. I mean, I don't think it's politics so much. I think that his run, his character, I don't think in this day and age, I think where Stone Cold, it fits.
But you being a New York guy, would he have got a better pop in New York than LA?
Yes.
Right.
Because the New York fans, older fan, knows the history. Yeah. Hogan in New York, he would have did better there. Philadelphia, no, but New York, yeah, he would have did better in New York. Yeah. Los Angeles, no. But that's on WWE. They put him in a spot to fail. Think about it, right? They put him in a spot that what did they think was going to happen?
And did you watch the Royal Rumble?
I watched drips and drabs because I don't have Peacock, but my brother had it, so I went up here and there.
You know the results?
Oh yeah. I actually watched most of the men's Rumble. I saw the women's and men's Rumble. What do I think about it? I mean,
I thought it was one of the worst for years.
I mean, Jey Uso winning, it's different, but do you believe he'll win if he's going against Gunther?
Jey Uso is an entrance and marketing. I don't believe he's that great of a wrestler.
From size wise, does he look? You have to look at it. Does he look like a world champion? But that's the internet. He's an internet darling. That's what he is. An internet darling. Logically, I think everybody thought Cena was going to win because it was Cena's. This is his last moment. But Cena, I guess, is going to announce himself, or he already did, right in the press conference, that he wants to be in the main event.
My cousin said he won't win it because he's on the poster for the Elimination Chamber. So he said, "You're going." I was actually not that asked because they had a bet on him because someone gave me I don't know who was giving it. Someone's like, put some money on Jey Uso. More than likely, he's going to win it, and I got 16-1 winner for it. So whoever that was,
you won with Jey Uso. All right, I
won.
I didn't. I'll be honest. I thought Cena was going to win. I thought, actually, to tell you the truth, I thought Punk was going to win because the way they built SmackDown and Raw, I kind of had a feeling about Punk. And Punk talked about never winning a Rumble, and he talked about he hasn't headlined WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, but they're going, I guess, the direction of what, Punk and Rollins and Roman, or are they? I don't know.
I don't know.
Jey Uso, I didn't think. And the women's side, I mean, you know what my pick was? We talked about this. I said it on to you. I said it on
she looked as well. She's transformed. I didn't even know it was her.
Well, she's changed a lot, probably since you've met her.
She changed a lot. I was like,
She looks different. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to guess.
For a bit though, I did think they kind of jobbed her. How they just you go in. I don't even know if anybody relevant threw her out.
You know what? I mean, I guess if she didn't sign a WWE deal, maybe it would have been more. It would have meant something more.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I mean, Charlotte winning. I think Charlotte Flair is going to break Ric Flair's record. I don't think it's going to be Cena. I don't think Cena's going to win a title here. What do you think?
My cousin, if he's in the chat, give me the theory.
Well, I have more comments. I didn't run through everybody. I'm behind.
If he's in the chat, he will give the theory what's going to happen, and he'll explain it.
All right, if he's here, I'll skip.
To write it.
Let me see if your cousin's here. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll go back to everybody in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I guess I just don't. I think Charlotte Flair is going to have like 20 world championships when it's all said and done. That's my prediction. I think she's going to get to 20. I don't know why, but I think Charlotte. It just makes sense. Flair to Flair.
Flair to Flair.
I don't know. Does Cena need another championship in his career?
I guess just for the loyalty, like they might just give it him to, because he's always been a WWE guy. He
never left. He always stayed. He kept coming in and out. But I go with the believability. He hasn't won a match in 7 years almost. There's a figuratively one. They talked about it during the pre-show. He was 20,
Solo. No, he didn't beat Solo actually.
7 years in terms of actual mathematical days. It's just about 7 years. The last time he's won a match.
He might go on this losing streak. I think he said, and then he'll win Money in the Bank. He'll cash in and win it right at the end.
He hasn't won a title in 2,800 days. So that means that's 8 years. So we're talking about 8 years he had a title of any sort. 7 years. It's last time he's won a match.
Well, I'm calling it now. I think he's going to surpass it.
Okay, well, I wouldn't be so shocked, but Jey Uso, you don't think is going to beat Gunther then? You don't think that that's going to work out?
No.
So then what was the point of him winning the Rumble then?
Marketing. Making money.
Yeah, but if I see Jey Uso, right?
Let's say it was just an irrelevant one, Michael. I just needed someone else's opinion on it. Thinking, what?
But the Rumbles, we'll get to the chat. We have people that want to talk to you still. But I mean, just for a second, I mean, the Rumble's always, okay, somebody wins, and it's like, they're going some. Like Cody, right, has won these Rumbles, and there was a storyline with it, right? Stone Cold, when he won the Rumbles, there was a story with it, right? Shawn Michaels, right, the boyhood dream, winning the Rumbles, right? Triple H, right? The Rock in 2000, winning the Rumble. There was a story there, right? But is there a story with Jey Uso? I'm just curious. I'm not saying I'm against it or for it, but is there a story?
You read all sorts of nonsense. Someone said, I don't know where I read it, and Jey Uso will win it, and then he'll pass the opportunity to The Rock to face.
That's goofy. Too goofy.
Very goofy, but all things are always goofy.
What do you think? Well, you know what? I know you love WWE. Do you think The Rock is going to wrestle another match? We haven't seen him in an actual singles match. I mean, do you think he can wrestle a singles match at this point?
I'm just putting out there for the record. I think he's a fucking bell end.
Well, you probably have met him, right? You've seen him before.
Yeah, he's a grade A bell end. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you said it because I was like, you have a reason. You'd be one of the few people that would actually have a reason to back that up. So I mean,
I said it to D'Lo Brown. I said it to D'Lo Brown. I went, I said he was signing me Nation of Domination. I went, I'll never get that bell end. And he went, you said it and you called it.
Well, you know what? I should actually ask you with it. Have you met Rhino or Savio Vega before? Have you seen them in person?
I've never seen Savio. I've met Rhino. I've met Rhino.
What did you think of Rhino? What did you think of him? You can tell me good or bad. I'd love to know.
I met him when he was in the roster, and he was nice. He was at the time he was a tag team champion with Heath Slater.
Okay.
And I met him at the convention, and he was a hustler. He wanted the dollar.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Understandable. Yeah. Savio, he doesn't really do a lot of these appearances much. He's mostly in Puerto Rico these days.
He's a massive star. I mean, look at Backlash when he come out. Oh my God, they went crazy for him.
Well, in Puerto Rico, he's like
just for promo at the back.
That's like the Rougeaus in Montreal, Bulldog was in England.
Could have asked him.
What's that?
Do you know when you was asking him questions?
Yeah.
Could you not ask? Was there anything significant? Could you not ask him about more about the Brody story?
Unfortunately, when I had both Rhino and Savio Vega here, I only had like 30, 35 minutes. Actually, Rhino only was going to give me 20, but he liked me. He liked the intro. And he actually, if you look at the interview, he's like, no, we can keep going for a few minutes. He legitimately, he liked me. Vega was like, I think he really wanted to do just 15 minutes, but it was just like, Unfortunately, my power cut out in the interview, so he let me do a few more minutes, but
Yeah,
it was 35 minutes, 33 minutes. So yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately, I didn't. I would have loved to have asked them more questions. I would have
yeah,
loved to have,
yeah.
I just it was what it was. But I'm working on another WWE name to come. So we'll
Okay,
see,
okay.
so. But I was curious if you had met them. But yeah, I believe you on The Rock. Let me get to some more comments. Congratulations, Tribal Cheese. Yes, thank you, Eddie, for subbing to Marco. Thank you, Zilla. Yes. Hello there. Chase Wakefield. Now, I got to ask you now, this guy, Chase Wakefield, real quick on this. Now, he's having a wedding and a wrestling super show at the same time. Now, I know this is I know you're not going to be this. So I don't have to put the link up, blah, 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 blah. But what do you think about this? He's getting married while having, it seems to be like a 2-day wrestling super show at the same time. Do you think that's
I tell you what, just make sure you film it because things like that go viral.
Oh, he's filming it. He's filming it, but I don't know how he's going to pull it off, this guy. I mean,
pay for me travel and they'll be over there and do a surprise appearance. Now that one would come
well, I think considering the amount of wrestlers that want to be on his show, he'll be lucky to afford the wedding cake at this point.
I'll be watching it if he's filming it all.
He's gonna post it on you. He'll have it on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel, but interesting. His wife wants it more than he does.
That's a loving relationship. That's a match made in heaven right there. Then
in his documentary, he attempted to kill her. It was horror reasons. But so you think he'll pull it off? Then you think he'll pull this super show off with the
if both parties want it, why not? It's only a problem if one party don't want it, but if both parties, it's all go with it. Tango.
And my buddy Joe Dell is here, and he said, "Hey guys, Halfay popcorn the best." I don't know what Halfay popcorn is.
Don't know what that was. I'm sorry.
Right. What? Okay. Thank you, Joe. Yeah. Hello to Joe. Yep. Follow Marco. That's his YouTube link again. Marco got another sub. We got him to 50. It's not easy being cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy. He saw them all. Yep. He's a big wrestling fan. He wanted to say Bob Backlund, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and Andre the Giant. Did you meet Bob Backlund? I think you met Snuka, right? I'm pretty sure you met Snuka, right? You met Snuka?
I've not met Snuka, I've seen him. I've seen him.
But you didn't meet. I feel like you didn't post that somewhere. But have you met Backlund?
I've not met There's 3 I've not met. I know
really?
Backlund put me mate in a chicken wing at WrestleMania 18 weekend. Ricky Friday. Oh, wow. But Backlund's nuts, innit?
I haven't seen much of Bob Backlund anywhere.
Bob Backlund, type him in. Bob Backlund meeting fans. Type it in on YouTube. You will be surprised by the nuts things he does.
Really?
He's not all there. He's not all there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was his gimmick when he came back. He was the crazy old guy.
Even watching the most wanted treasures WWE, he's not all there. But like at conventions, he just when he's bored and he's not on his cue, he just bounces on his head in the middle of the room.
So I guess then I hate to put it out there. How on earth was he champion for 5.5 years?
I mean, how on earth was he champion in '95? That shows how bad WWE was then.
Well, you know what? As much as we love Savio, he was in that era, but they were in high school gyms. I mean, they were going, no joke, they were in high school gyms for the house shows. I mean, Savio talked about the story about Rome, but that's what they had to do because they weren't drawing the gates. They were drawing it in the attitude.
Because I follow this group, and I can't remember its name on Facebook, but it shows during that era, they was just doing like school gyms for like 1,000 people. That was like their house shows.
Yeah.
Gyms in Michigan and that. I'm like, kids all there.
You know that in Madison Square Garden, they were not selling out the Garden even in those days. Not every Garden show sold out. They, back in the 80s, forget about it. The Garden, it was the line was out the door. But in that era, like 93, 94, 95, going into 96.
Well, look at all the gimmicks around that time. What was it? Fantasio, the Magician, Bastion Bugger, all them people.
It was the Goon, I think. There was, Duke the Dumpster Draws was one of the gimmicks, right? They had who else? Savio played Quang. I mean, there was some Adam Bomb. I mean, there was some weird duds. Yeah, duds like. That's why the era was what it was. And the Iron Sheik, yes, Pedro Morales. I met the Iron Sheik, legend. Iron Sheik, he doesn't get enough credit. The Iron Sheik, he doesn't get enough credit
Couldn't
because
walk, but I've met him, and he was starting fights, and everybody called him
the
Jabron.
Iron Sheik's bigger than you on X, right? All he does is talk about Hulk Hogan. He badmouths Hulk Hogan a lot on X. Not saying you should do that, by the way, to get more followers, but
Is it what he still got? Does someone still control his account?
yes, there's somebody. Yeah, he
Right.
still posts on X. He posts on X still. Yeah, snap it into a Slim Jim. Yes, the Slim Jim. Yep, Slim Jim is back. Oh, L.A. Knight. My favorite, Roddy Piper. Did you meet Piper?
I met him. Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you his exact words to me. He came out the car. He was in the centre of Manchester, and he went, "Hey kid, I've got a real." He did. He put his hand on my shoulder and he went, "I've got a real bad case of the shits."
Wow.
And then he held his ass and he shuffled off in the hotel. That was my moment with Roddy Piper.
Not knowing I would have.
And I never seen him surface from that hotel again for about 3 days. I don't even know when.
I wouldn't have ate for 3 days afterwards. But Ed's got a website. He's going to change things. Thank you, Eddie, for your support. Check his website out, and we appreciate that. Let me go to the Tribal Cheese here. What did you think of Speed getting wrecked?
Mega, great, amazing. That's sort of amazing. Is it not like one of the most replayed things about the Rumble? Amazing.
Yeah, actually, on X. Yeah, it's been played a lot on X.
Bron Breakker's is one of the best ever.
I think your cousin has showed up, by the way. One of the worst Royal Rumbles of all time. John Cena to win the Elimination Chamber, but lose the WrestleMania match, then win Money in the Bank.
There it is.
So what do you think about that? Doesn't sound good. I'm with your cousin. That doesn't sound really great. He's going to win the Chamber, lose at Mania, and then win at Money in the Bank. Wouldn't the story be win at Chamber, win at Mania, and then drop it at SummerSlam? Wouldn't that be?
I don't know, but when that was explained in person, it just seems the right thing to do. Like he keeps failing, he gets it, he gets the pop, he goes home.
But his last match is when? When are we ending it? Survivor Series? Are we going like December, whatever?
I don't know. What is the last match? It would be Survivor Series.
And who do you think the last opponent of John Cena should be? Who do you think that he should face? Who would you put as his last? Is it Randy Orton because of the history? I mean, is it Roman one more time? Is it The Rock one more time?
Oh, I don't see that. I don't see The Rock. I don't know. That's an hard one. That is an hard one.
Question, right? I mean, Randy Orton with the history would make sense, right? AJ Styles, but AJ Styles is down the totem pole. Wouldn't make
someone that'll work a lot for him. I mean, if you look back at it, Cena and Styles had a good match at Rumble.
They did. They had a good. You see, Styles came in and they had some great, but I don't think AJ Styles at this point in his career is the right.
Because WWE's weird. Because you remember when Kurt Angle had the last match and he chose Baron Corbin.
So yeah, that's like a what?
You throw all these names out and then they throw you this.
Would you want it to be Cody and then he drops the title to Cody back and wins it, or I mean,
it'd be kind of good if Taker comes back out and then Taker does the job to him like they did at that main.
Do you think Undertaker's got one more in him?
Yeah, one of those quick ones, that job match that Taker did to him. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Bye. You can't see me. AA over. Finished. Done. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, he looks good in the ring still. He looks shape-wise. He's definitely looked. He looks like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
But you don't know who the last opponent should be. Basically, you don't know who Cena's last opponent should be.
No idea.
Should it be a new guy like a Jacob Fatu? Should it be a Gunther? Should it be a Jey Uso? Should it be somebody LA Knight to really put LA Knight a little more in the stratosphere? Or you don't know?
No idea.
I got more comments. Let me get to them. A lot more people want to talk. Ox McCoy is here. Cheese and beans on my spud. Ox is a good friend of ours. He's the IMF hardcore champion. The IMF is here. We appreciate that. How we doing? Let's see what else we got here. For some reason, I feel like John Cena could have won, but I think it was better if Jay won and Charlotte did not need to win either. I feel like someone new needed to win, like maybe a Liv Morgan or maybe an Io Sky. Were you happy on the women's side? Talk to me about that.
The women's rumble. I don't want to get hate from women here. It's a bit of a joke, wasn't it? It's a popcorn match, the whole match.
I mean, Trish Stratus looked like Trish Stratus. That was my favorite part. She looked good. Have you met Trish? And what do you think about Trish? I'm sure you've met Trish. Not so good about Trish?
She's all right, Trish. She's nice, Trish.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
God,
nice.
a lot of people would have.
Nice. Just not overly nice. She's just nice.
Okay, well, I'll take it better than what you said about The Rock, so I can live with that. I can, my dreams of going out.
Too poor on The Rock. He's a wank. He's a piece of shit.
You could see it though. You could see it a little bit. I mean, I could see it.
When he does the videos, he's like, "I'd like to congratulate my fans. They wait out for me." He didn't fucking say that to me at 2 a.m. at the back of the finger. He was like, "No."
Yeah,
No.
I think Cody was better with you. I think Cody was good with you.
Yes, he was. I've got many of them Cody ones.
Cody's all right. I think Cody is good. Chase is a lucky man. That's all I can say. We'll leave that at that. Thank you. The one and only Big Cheese. Yes, and if you're here right now,
he's a wally.
If you're here right now, hit the like button for us. Follow the Tribal Cheese. Follow me. We'd appreciate all that. He is definitely a legend. He's also, by the way, it's Tribal Cheese Month on Sportswire Radio. So there you go. The rarest of the rare. Yeah, you got that right. This is the Cody story all over. He says Cody versus Cena would be good.
Yeah.
Could be. How about this? And I've heard this one before. Braun Breaker to face John Cena in his last match, putting over.
That'd be good.
What do you think? Is Braun ready for that?
Yeah. Why not?
I don't, because he's dropped down a bit since he lost the Intercontinental title.
He has, yeah. I mean, he had that massive push, and then someone beat him clean. So who
did he piss off in the locker room?
Well, that's it, innit? Whose dick are you bouncing on?
Pretty much. That's how it goes.
Usually what ends your push, isn't it?
Alexa Bliss coming back was unexpected. Yeah, a little bit.
Also, it was no one cared. They had a little pop, and then people.
You know what it is? She's been gone for so long.
I think you become like there it is. This is what I wanted him to say. He has a great motto, Dean.
He's a bad Wally.
No, you've got to say it right. He's a bad Wally, him.
He's a bad Wally, him.
Wally, Wally, him.
I don't know if you heard the new toy I got, but you want to laugh? The new toy, the beat button. Boy, we were using it 2 days ago after you left the chat with Anthony Steele. All I kept doing was, that was it to him. That's a good. We don't need that anymore. But,
that Bagwell piece of shit.
Him, yeah, you can go on about him. Yeah, him. Forget him.
Rob Bagwell.
Good on him. So how am I saying this one? Helmet.
No. Like you overextend it. Like helmet.
All right. I had a job for a month. I was doing voiceover prompts, so I can do that. Speaking of people that are here from Australia, would you ever want to go to Australia? Australia's here, my buddy.
I'm not too keen on flying. That sent me over the edge. That.
Okay, well, you met Rhea. I mean, Rhea's his country. You met Rhea.
To do like 1 hour here, 1 hour there, 1 hour here, 1 hour there.
Okay. So we'll come back to some of the WWE stuff. We're here with the Tribal Cheese. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice. Figuratively and literally, we're all wrestling matters. Hit the sub button for us. Also, hit the sub button for the Tribal Cheese at Mad Banks.
If you want the answers to him, hit him away. I'm here. I'm raw. I'm uncut, and I'm talking to you.
I was gonna get to that. So I'm talking about different things, but. Wrestling, the wrestling world that you've left. I mean, what do you think about the wrestling scene in the UK right now? What do you think? What's your thoughts? I mean, I have my thoughts. What's your thoughts?
Do you want it raw?
I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, to an extent. Yeah, I guess.
Terrible. On its ass, same matches, same people, promoters that can't get bookings, so they make their own promotion and then kiss ass, seedy bastards everywhere. You've got people that are on the speaking out movement that survived it. They're there. They know who they are.
Sounds like backyard wrestling. A few months ago in Sportswire, we had this thing. All these wrestlers, got out and one or two of them think
morals as well. People have got no morals. They know people are seediness, yet they'll work for that promotion because they want their book, their 10 quid or their freebie, and they're there kissing ass, working on the the stand, selling the t-shirts, you know, the merch stand there, putting up the ring, go to get the 5-minute rumble spot on that. You know, have some fucking morals, have some fucking dignity.
Well, you know, to me, what I don't get is you're not getting the engagements. The social media is not there. You're not getting the attendance.
So that's what I mean. So they'll go out and do this show to about 5 people, then they forgot straight away. So there's nothing. They actually getting nothing.
I don't understand is you devalue yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna wrestle, but
yeah, that's it. You're prostituting yourself. You're whoring yourself out.
Like at CCW, you know, and again, I'm not just because you know CCW comes on here, but they have 100 whatever people there. There's a reason I would want to know. There's a storyline. You know, I think one of the things that lacks with independent wrestling, and this is not just the UK, it's even in America to some extent. To some extent in America, they have the same problem. I heard Eric Bischoff talk about this, and that there's no storyline. There's no
story.
There's no like, give me a build. Like, for example, if somebody comes on here, right? You know, guys will come on here and, you know, okay, great. Now do something with it. Now, you know, obviously, you know, we get a couple companies like IMF and CCW. They know what they're doing. They're great. But like wrestling as a whole, I get a lot of independent wrestlers that come on here, stateside, right? Yeah. This is not the UK thing, right? They'll come on here and, you know, they'll talk and I'll listen and you know, we'll fire people up. And then, well, what happens afterwards? What's the point of doing an interview like this or going somewhere and then the video doesn't come out, the match is not got the oomph? I mean, so to me, what I think one of the biggest problems is that independent wrestling lacks storyline, a continuous flow. Give me a reason why I want to tune in.
I'm going to kiss a bit more ass because I always liked the story that CCW keeps their fans engaged. They'll do little segments, they'll do little skits,
Facebook videos, yeah.
What every pay-per-view to do, there's things there. They're making people. Other companies don't do that. Other companies don't understand. In some of them, they're a face. Then on the next show, one of the mates,
they're heel, and they work under a different name, and then.
Yeah. Where are you going with it? What are you doing? Because like
you know what it is. They say, well, in that town, they don't know that I'm this person, but in this place,
of course they fucking do. Of course they do, because if they're following you as a person, they're going to go, oh, who's this and who's that? Like I know loads of people that have good morals that don't get bookings. You know, because they're not a seedy bastard. I know.
You know what? Well, you know what it is? Politics. People play.
Hey, I tell you about my cousin. He is in there. He is in there with a great wrestler. He's got morals though. So why won't he get booked? Because he's got morals.
Yes, because he won't go along with the go along crowd. The go along crowd says, "Okay, go to this place, and then we'll work with everybody else, even though blah 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 blah." So, but if you don't go along with that,
no, I've been morally right all the way through. That's what I'd rather do than think maybe I should have took that one.
I agree. Listen, I agree. You and I, you know, I think the same. I would rather, you know,
the star as well, working for that fucking seedy bastard as well.
You know, your cousin did want to ask, who do you think are some of the most overrated wrestlers in the UK scene? Who do you think? Who's on your scorecard? Let me see.
Tell you can't wrestle, Rob Bagwell.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, Buff Bagwell's got problems too in his own right. I don't know. You know,
a lot of overrated people. So the overrated people know who they are. They're usually the bookers and promoters and put themselves in the best matches, and they usually bring over like a legendary vet. Say like they'll bring over David Blaze. They'll bring over Martin Kirby.
Storm, Martin Kirby.
In a match with them.
Yeah.
And then you'll think, oh, he was good. And then they'll beat them. And it's all the same. It's all the same shit. And it drills my head. It implodes. Like, fucking hell.
You know what I think? You know, a lot of independent wrestling, if we're going to go in the UK, to me, it doesn't have... You and I have talked about this when you've been here. You know, it doesn't... Like 4 years ago, I had such an excitement. Now I got to pick my spot. You know, it's like...
Don't cover British wrestling as much now because they're probably all the same to you.
Kind of. I mean, like RPD's back Wednesday. You know, Marcus was here. Andre Decker. Okay, but like for me to do it every day,
you have your better characters in the backyard scene. I enjoy them podcasts rather than someone that can't talk.
No, you know what? I'll tell you what it is. The difference is that when you're an independent or to a borderline independent pro wrestler, you're conditioned to say almost like an athlete, right? When you took your football players around the world, and they're going to basically talk about it like They're not gonna want to say anything. It's the same mindset. So when a backyard guy comes, an underground guy, when Anthony Steele comes on here, even when James Taylor comes on here, Omen Black, Jake Dvorak recently, all these other guys, they're gonna come on here and they don't care. But sometimes when you get like independent, I have American independent guys come on. They come on here. They're great. They're really, some of them are really good in the ring. But
anything controversial as well. It's always radio PG friendly.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Okay, I'm here, but it doesn't get the engagements or the algorithm. So you have that. You can tell, like, when again a backyard or underground guy comes here. Most of the time, there are guys that come on here who are backyard and underground, and it's they're not as good. There is that too, but like in the indie and pro scene, a lot of them.
Up now.
What's that?
You get me fired up.
Well, you wanted it. You said you wanted raw and uncut, but I think I'm trying to be as careful as I can. But I think what it is that, like, just on the British scene. Again, I love British wrestling. I do. I would love to cover British wrestling every day. I don't have the time like I used to, the same time zone, but like even to do some of those spots outside of CCW, because CCW is different. They've got the fan base, they've got the following, but in terms of just to sit there and talk to guys in the country, a lot of them, it's the same drivel. Been there, done that. Is there anything new? It's just not there. The reality of it is it's not there as what it used to be. Now, again, other forms. I mean, I've been getting pro wrestlers on here, which is different. American pro wrestlers who are going up the ladder. That's a different ball game. I understand the professionalism. We had a guy on who's trying to get into the WWID program. Another guy that was an extra in MLW and Impact. I get that. If you're at that level, you're no longer an indie wrestler. To me, what I've learned in the last 8 months since you've come here, believe it or not, you tell me what you think. There's a difference between indie wrestlers and pro wrestlers. The difference with an indie wrestler is that, you're basically what you described is an indie wrestler. Yeah, I want to be on a show. I ain't going anywhere, but I'm going there, I'm having fun. 20, 30 people are there. I'm getting out there, putting the singlet on, got my gear, my 5 minutes. That's it. Now, a pro wrestler is a different ballgame. You're in the gym, you're in shape, you're out there, you're looking to go and travel. So what there is a difference is an indie and a pro wrestler. And I think that's what you kind of have described what indie wrestlers are as a whole. And I'm not knocking some indie wrestlers, but there are some, and that's just the mindset. Whereas a pro wrestler, what I've learned in the last 8 months, because I've had some of those guys on recently, is that I understand when you don't want to rock the boat or because you are going somewhere. I understand that. You're traveling, you've been in spots, so conceptually where you want to go. But unfortunately, British independent wrestling is a microcosm, I think, of the independent wrestler's journey as a whole. And that's kind of...
I think wrestling spiked about 2018. I think it's really plummeted since then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Since COVID and that, it's just really been like a downward spiral.
Yeah, because it's not. There's very few guys that you've seen and said, all right, you know what? They're breaking through. Like, okay, you mean okay, Joe Henry, sure. There's a guy here and there, Pete Dunne, but very few have you seen in the last 5 or 6 years that you went up the ladder. I think that's the problem. So you're getting like, I saw you here, wrestle that person. Saw you there. It's the same, but that's independent wrestling as a whole. I mean, I cover even in America. I've done spots. I get the guy that comes on here. He speaks for 45 minutes. It's great. We put his match up. Talented.
You've seen the current battle with CCW and Dropkick. There's one that I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, that's interesting in itself.
Well, their Dropkick's trying to be a carbon copy of something that's there, and it's here, like trying to take all away, like feeding away. But so that to me is like taking
the greatest form of flattery. But the problem is, there's one original. There's one CCW, and if you're going to try that, you need to create your own path. It's like anything else.
Yeah. And if anybody drop kicking here, one of the high ups is in the house, stick that.
Listen.
Acknowledge.
But you know what? This is before you've come into CCW. This is before you came in. CCW has always had its own its own path. CCW doesn't follow the same companies, the same, it doesn't follow it. CCW's in its own world. So if you're going to try to create it, it's not going to work. You can't reinvent the wheel of something that's already been created. And I think that's the problem with, I think, again, independent wrestling, I think, is a major problem right now because it's not, the creativity is not there. I mean, I get it. I'm getting American indie wrestlers on. I get them. They're going to be on. They're on. I got a guy coming on again in a couple weeks in your chair. He comes on here. He's a great talent, but I have another guy that comes on here. He's great. He's a great guy, but there's no charisma. There's no.
You get a spectacular wrestlers, but they can't talk, and that's killed it. I think you've got to be a better talker, mate.
Problem is that when you're, this is my opinion, when you're in the backyard, you're selling yourself. You are doing everything you can to sell because you're your YouTube product, you're your own advocate, you're your own brand. When you're an indie wrestler, you're going to, and I'm not knocking the seminars. Seminars are great, but you're going to a seminar and they're teaching you every move to do. And they're teaching you from what somebody else did, but it's not your path. When you're going out there and you're an indie wrestler, again, my buddy is on the indies, Chris Urban, here in New York, New Jersey. He's a great guy, but he's unfortunately one of the guys that you would say falls into the category of an independent wrestler. He's been on my platform and can't talk. He can't talk. Yeah. He's a great guy. Got the body. He's got the look. He's got the arms, the muscles.
But Rick J.
He's got no power. Exactly. He's a Corbin. Doesn't have that charisma. So I think when you're an indie guy, when you're just trained and you're not all of a sudden like, I'm in the backyard. I'm in the backyard. This is it. This is my everything. Guys come on here and this is their everything. Whereas, you're an indie person. Maybe you didn't start wrestling or want to wrestle until maybe you had a career as a bouncer, didn't work out. Maybe your career in sports didn't work out. Or maybe, you're 30 and you've decided I've got a coming to Jesus moment. I want to be a wrestler. And growing up, I didn't have that charisma. So that's why I think some indie wrestlers suffer from that. You can't teach charisma. You can't teach that. You can talk, right? But you're different. You're the tribal cheese. Not everybody can learn something. You know what I'm saying? Like I do this, right? And I see other podcasters that, and I give them advice and I see them out here, but a lot of them don't succeed for the same reasons. You got to have a reason. Tell me why you want to tune in. I think that's the problem right now. Due to that, your cousin wants to also, I'll get to Daniel. The speaking out movement did have a massive impact. It did. There's no question the speak out movement, it did impact a lot because there were people that wanted to play the game, and it's not right. I think if something was there, people should have eradicated some of that. But unfortunately, it wasn't that. I think it did divide people. I think that's a fair point. Fountains Church has brought in Pride, Sammy Blue. Pride does some work with CCW. Sean Only. I think British wrestling is doing well. I don't think British wrestling is doing 100% well. I think that British wrestling, there's good and bad. I think that British wrestling.
GP.
What's that?
What's
that? That used to be GT Ministries, Fountains Church of Bradford.
Okay.
So I think that there are some good, some bad, but I do think there is a lot of carbon copy. I think there are some good. I'm not saying everybody's bad, but I think there are some that look, they are what they are. Problem with backyard wrestling, most of them are not trained properly. Take the guy out for being untrained. Well, I agree with that. You should be trained. I think that if you want to be in the backyard and you want to stay in the backyard,
trained. I don't think a lot of people in wrestling are trained. There's people that come out looking like showers of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an argument on both cases. I know promoters that will just get him in for men, especially a lot of the women. If you're half decent looking as a woman, you are in the ring within like a month. Like,
I think, I could see. I don't want to say names, but I've heard certain guys tell me that certain guys just go out and learn by wrestling, which I think you could pull that off. But I think if you can get trained, I would say go get trained. I think if you want to get trained, you should go out there and train. But I kind of feel like sometimes it's like if you go out and play football, you go out and play basketball, or you box, right? You learn by boxing. I have to go to a gym and spar. So I mean, I think. Listen, what I will say is this: I do think that backyard guys sometimes get unfairly criticized. When I do believe that a lot of and most wrestlers, little spoiler alert, were backyard wrestlers. I mean, spoiler alert: most people that wrestled were in the backyard. And when people all of a sudden decide, hey, my trainer said backyard wrestling's bad. Well, guess what? Your trainer was a backyard wrestler too. And guess what? Spoiler alert, your trainer probably has videos out there of him under a different name, but because he tried to play the game or she tried to play the game, that backyard wrestling's a bad thing. But I do think that backyard wrestling gets an unfair criticism because there are a lot of people in backyard wrestling, like I said, that know how to promote themselves. And I think like anything else, you got to promote yourself. That's just what I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Your cousin had an A point. I don't know what the A point was. We'll come back to that. Who else we got? Daniel Dupree. Yep. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. Hello from the motherland. Thank you. Who else we got here? I think we went through the comments.
Dan Loopy is a big shout out. He's a good friend of mine. Yep. He lives in Ireland now. He like does and that. He's a good friend. He'll be loving this.
We love Dan. Thank you, Dan. Okay, this is what your cousin wanted to say. A lot of wrestlers nowadays can't call things in the ring. It all has to be pre-planned. It's funny, you know, I had a wrestler come on 2 weeks ago who's got his own promotion. A guy that is actually the antithesis of independent wrestling. He's got a company. I'm supporting them. They've got some real storylines. It's a pretty good company here in Pennsylvania. I'm gonna shout him out. Van Hansen, Enterprise Amplified Wrestling. He owns Amplified. And he was telling me that. What's that?
Has Van Hansen been on the show? I've heard of him.
Recently, he's been on here a bunch of times, and he's one of those guys that just feels you go out there and call the match. You go out there and that's it. You don't go out and write a book report. You go out there. What do you got? I mean, I agree with that.
To call your entire match, you should not be in the ring. That's like you're out to have sex with someone and call it, and we'll.
Hey, at 4 o'clock right now, right? From 4 to 4:05. I'm just gonna let you know 4 to 4:05 on Tuesday. You there? Yeah, right. The woman's gonna say next. Well, if you're being honest, right? You're not gonna do that. So if you're gonna go out there, it's like if I would have box you, if I would have a boxing fight, right? I'm not gonna say, well, you know what? Thursday at 6:30, we're gonna fight for 3 rounds. You're gonna hit me 15 times. I'm gonna hit you 12. No, you're gonna say, I want to knock you out. I mean, that's the same thing with wrestling. I'm gonna go out there and have a 10-minute, 15-minute match, and what do you got? I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I always feel the best matches are the ones because you can just pull out a move from nowhere. You think improvise here, do this. Me and my cousin, you know, we've had some bangers behind the closed doors where we don't just do it, just call it in the ring. Boom, technical, get it on.
I think, but how do you also improve? How do you improve by not? You got to learn, right? You got to go out there. Wrestling. I've said this for 4 years. Tell me what you think on this. I've used this line so many times. Interviews. I don't remember if I've used it with you or not. Somebody will check. Wrestling is like an apprenticeship. You have to learn on the job, right? It's like if I were to go out and do construction, right? And I would have to learn on the job. I can go to class and learn from a book, but I have to be on site and I have to perform whether it's, building the right material, whether it's climbing a ladder, whatever it might be. Wrestling is an apprenticeship. You have to learn by doing it on the job. I can't take a book. I can't this guy and say, okay, we're going to time it at this clock at that time. No, you got to learn it by doing it. That's the way I think wrestling is. Am I wrong or am I missing something?
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, I've just seen so many people crumble when they lose a spot and they don't know what to do, and they're like, "Do we go back to that spot?"
Listen, you know what, dude? It's like when I'm here live, I'll get pro guys on here sometimes, and like we're doing the interview, and they're like, they don't know what to do. I'm like, let's go, we're live. I'll guide them through, but it's like you got to know the only way you learn anything is by doing it. Listen, with this, right? I'm not trained. I'm not a trained interviewer. I didn't go to school for communications. I learned this every day. Every day. I didn't go to some fancy university where I spent 30,000 pounds or 20,000 pounds. I'm friends with one guy. Went to a university here in America. He's got a degree. He's done a podcast. It was great. Nothing wrong with him. But he don't got the following I got. You know why? Because he don't have what I got, which is the charisma He's got the ability to talk. And that's what it comes down to. You got to have that ability. And that's what, like, I this with podcasts. I get a lot of podcasters ask me advice, and they say, what do I have to do to be successful? I'm not getting any listeners, I'm not getting any viewers. And I would tell them all the time, you have to go and do it, and you have to go out there and learn, and you have to find an avenue or a way to connect with people. If you don't have that, you ain't going anywhere. It's like with wrestling. I think it's the same thing. And I'm not a wrestler. I haven't done it, but I know enough in anything in life is that you got to do it, and I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's what indie wrestlers struggle with sometimes.
Yeah, when you find that connection, that's when you're on the right road. If you're disconnected from the people, you won't go anywhere.
I think that's the problem with independent wrestling because, and again, a lot of them are focused on, I've got to do the spot right. I've got to go and learn. They told me how to do it this way, and I have to perform it to a T. But I don't think it works that way.
On Rumble, and he was all talking about the spots. I thought, I couldn't give a fuck. Just work it out. There's so many people in the ring. You can call it in the ring, like without anybody noticing.
And I think what it also is that, like, look, you got to do it. I just think, to me, just because it's like if I watch a movie, right, and I watch the movie and I'm watching the actors, right? Well, if the actor misses something in the movie or in the play, they keep going, right? I think it's the same. You don't just stop. Oh, well, I didn't take that suplex the right way, or he didn't hit me that right. He was supposed to hit me differently. No, you don't. You just keep going. You just have to I just think that's the problem. That a lot of independent wrestlers, I just think, guys tell me their resumes. I went to this seminar, and I'm not knocking the seminars. I think the seminars are great. I know Olmark's done them here. I know other guys do them. Kirby does them. But I feel like I don't think going to a seminar makes you a wrestler. I'm sorry. I think what makes you going out there is you got to
many seminars, and most of the time it's just the Q&A. You don't do a lot.
Yeah, they're going to talk about their career. You take a photo with them. You smile.
Yeah, they're in with whatever, and then you just sit there and you ask them a few questions, and then you post it up on your Instagram.
If there's 40 or 50 of you, and you got an hour, 2 hours with a name, what are you learning?
One seminar where he really got his gear on and grafted you, and that was Johnny Saint. That was the only one out of the seminars that I've done with stars that I thought, oh, he's putting you through it here. The only one. Yeah,
just that's the only way you succeed. You got to go out and do it. It's not just independent. Yeah, there are some scripted WWE stuff. I agree with you on that WWE has become all these writers. I'm going to say something that you're going to probably not even like. I don't watch a lot of WWE. I may know about it.
I said this on Royal Rumble. I watched Royal Rumble and Mania, but I'm not bothered if I miss it.
In America, I didn't get Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I mean, to me, like AEW, WWE, I know what's going on, but I'm not sitting there like I do a show Friday nights here in America. I got these two, one guy who interviewed you, and it's like, yeah, it's great. Don't get me wrong, TBK, great guy. I'm not knocking anybody. They follow it. They sit there intensively with WWE. I don't really watch I watch it, but I don't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
he doesn't have that, in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. I got to make sure I drop all my stuff to watch Raw. Some Raws I watch, some SmackDowns I watch, but not every time. AEW,
That's on its ass as well.
I heard AEW's only sold 15,000 tickets so far for their all-out show. Something like 10,000 or 15,000 tickets. A crazy low number there. I mean, wrestling is like a play. You have to find the characters and learn the lines and rehearse them. Once you're in front of the audience, the music plays. It means showtime. Yeah, well, you got to go out. Listen, when it's live, you can't turn back. I mean, there's no can we do over? That's why, I got to be honest with you. I like to do a live interview rather than a podcast. I mean, I know with Rhino and Savio Vega, you're right. Whatever they want, sir. But even when I get indie guys come on here and pro guys that half come on live, half don't. I think the only way you learn anything is to be live.
We're live.
That's it. To me, it's like I don't think. How do you learn? Especially if you're a wrestler, right? You're gonna have to do a promo, whether you're in the show or on social media. What do you gain from?
What, doing about 40 takes on your phone, doing one of those 40 takes? Nah, just wing it.
When I do the videos to announce, I would say 8 out of 10 times I do it in one take. 8 out of 10. I would say an average 8 out of 10. I would say there's some times
about 3-4 times. in about 3 takes. But now since I done my jaw at that event, it's a bit more slurring. I feel
how's the jaw feeling? How's the jaw feeling?
It has its good and bad days. I have to admit. I just feel like sometimes it just gets clogged up with saliva. It just feels a bit weird.
Okay. Too much advertising. Yeah. What do you think? You know what? I'll move off this in a minute. I know we only got so much time with you, but do you have Netflix? Are you watching Netflix for WWE, or I don't know what is it like in the UK? Is it on Netflix in the UK, or are you guys on a different channel for Raw? What is it? I don't know.
Of WWE on Netflix. I mean, I watched the 1990s golden era, but I just watch real crime. That's what I'm into. You know, yeah, that's just what I watch. I watch real life documentaries, real crime, and nothing else really.
Well, you know what I do watch sometimes? I do watch, like, I've been watching on YouTube sometimes, like Stevie Richards has a podcast now. I check that out. You know, Bischoff I do find myself watching like wrestling streams.
Met a WWE wrestler recently, and he has a podcast. I forgot his name. Rennie Dupree.
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yes, I did see that.
This guy, well, he's a piece of shit. I met him in the street with my cousin, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, people charge me." And he actually took the £10 cash off me on the street to fucking get like out of his bum bag. I thought, "You're a fucking bum, you."
That's right.
Saying Ready to Praise a good guy. He can kiss my ass.
Well, he's not coming on Sportswire. Good news.
Like, you're on the street and he's like, "Oh yeah, £10 cash," you know. And I don't. It was a bit pathetic, to be honest, seeing him do it.
Well, good news is he's not one of the names we're looking to bring on. So we're definitely, now that I heard that story, yeah, we can move on. He's not coming on the platform. No, Rob Van Dam's doing one. I listen to him sometimes. He's kind of entertaining. Let's get to some more comments. People want to talk about this. If the audience is invested, it's going good. The audience is your biggest critic. You need to impress them to make it big. The 90s and 2000s early. Yeah, I think I would kind of agree with that. I think, you know, if you're a certain age, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, maybe, right? Maybe 2002.
Yeah, 89 to 92, just as it was going on the golden era. And then
I didn't remember that. The Attitude Era, I remember watching that front and center.
And I think I think you can go from 05 to 07 was a bit of a dud.
Oh, it was definitely 06, 07. Yeah, we're definitely duds. Yeah, like
and all that, like ones you don't really remember.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would say 06, 07 for me, just where I was in life. 06, 07, 08, 09. I was like,
"Hey Marco, you happy with your subs now? You need to get working on your platform, brother."
Let me give him more subs. All right, Marco, you're here. You got 4 subs. Actually, Marco got 7 subs tonight. He got 7 extra subs. So you know what? You're here right now. I see Daniel Banner's here. Eddie Pizzo said he's got you on in the background. He's gonna definitely talk later. Give Marco a sub. Do that. Definitely give him a sub. Do that. He's at 54. Get him to 55. I will get you to 55 subs. I promise you on that. The Tribal Cheese has got a YouTube page. Let's give him a follow on that because he's on YouTube. He's actually, congratulations. You got some extra subs today. You were at 39.25. You were at 39.30 something. So you got some subs today. Let's give him some more subs. I got double digits here on the YouTube stream.
Hey, there's some good content on there for those that haven't seen.
You know what? That's one benefit for you. You've been waking up when you're here overnight. I'm always plugging your YouTube channel. You had to have got subs from some of the wrestlers. They had to have subbed to YouTube.
Because when I talk to your channel, usually a lot of them know me.
Yeah, you know, all of them know you. Anthony Steele knows you. James Taylor, they all know you. You know, they know you, and you're on YouTube there. And yeah, definitely. He says he's nothing. Well, now you got more subs, so you'll better. Now you'll be more than something. But so what's next for you? What's next in the world of the Tribal Cheese? What is next before we get to the other remaining parts of the show? What is next for you?
What is next? That is a good question. Road to 20K. That's what's next on TikTok.
I'm going to put that up in a few minutes.
Oh, I don't know. You have to ask me something else, and I'll get to that. I don't know. I don't know what's next.
10,000 followers. What was that like? Okay, well, when you got to 10,000, what was that like?
It was great, but I felt like all my videos dropped. I felt like the grind became even harder. It was like, here's the ladder, and now we're gonna drop you And the steps are going to be even bigger. I mean, I think I got to 11K before. I know I'm very close, or 10 point.
Well, right now, if you're on TikTok, and I think if Joe Dell is here, who's on TikTok, if you follow the Tribal Cheese, you might be the 11,000 follower for him. So give him a follow on TikTok, and he's got some like impressive stuff. He's got a lot 95 Joe Rogan and Dana White, and I mean Dana White. Did you like Dana? Did you like Dana White? What did you think of Dana White?
Well, if no one's seen that full video, I suggest you get on my TikTok and watch it. It's a banger. That
I did actually. He talked about your video list. He was actually really I saw it months ago. This was in the summer. I remember watching this. And by the way, love a bit of cheese on a Monday night. There you go. So there you go. We got more people.
As well, he like wrestled at Superstar Pro this weekend.
I remember him. Yep. How you doing, JJ? Good to see you. And if you're here, hit the sub button for the Tribal Cheese. Hit the sub button for us. And yeah, check you out on TikTok. Yo, 10,900. James has got like 80,000. And some of your most recent stuff, you plugged me. Thank you for that. And you got your other stuff here, a bunch of stuff. And you also gave me a nice birthday wish, which was nice. I appreciated the birthday video, by the way. I forgot to mention that, by the way. You did give me a birthday wish. And I think right afterwards, I got 1,000 subscribers. I still haven't got the tattoo yet. I'm a chicken. I haven't got it yet.
So what next? I know I'll get in good shape. Do you know what I have got? I've got one more MMA fight in me. I've definitely got it. I've got one.
I tell you what, that would be more interesting to me than you wrestling, because being back in MMA, you haven't done MMA in a while. It's been a year since you've done MMA. I mean,
5 years. I've definitely got one more fight.
Are you fighting that bad in MMA? I think you'd love to do that just in an alley, but different.
I just see I've got that one more. I just feel like it's unfinished. Like I won't have to do a promotion. I'll just go in there and I just want to fight. I want to lead.
No, you're an influencer. You have to promote it.
I don't. I'd rather someone drop out of a fight and on a last minute replacement and go heavyweight division.
I guess 2 months ago, Arv Mitu, first Black British boxer to have fought 100 times, and sometimes they would give him a fight. If you're a club fighter, hey, you want to fight, and you just show up.
When I was like on Saturday night and I went, Monday night, what are we doing? Let's do it. That's how I'd like.
That's like Arv. Arv would show up and they'd be like, he got a couple of big fights. Junior Witter, he fought a couple of big guys, but it was like, you show up, all right, the pay is good, but you might get a few hits in the face, but you should promote it though. Maybe you should have an MMA fight in a CCW ring. I'm sure James would love that. I could ask James that on Thursday.
But the MMA fight to Bagwell, didn't in Firestar's main event, it'd be the biggest draw.
Well, I mean, that would be the only thing that would draw there. But I mean, that wouldn't be the only.
For obvious reasons. But I really wanted to test that black belt skills of his. One more MMA fight. Get my niece and nephew up, Ben Nevis.
Would you like to see that? Would it mean a lot to you for them to see you one more time out there? I mean, you're so close to your niece and nephew. You're always with them. I wish I had you as an uncle growing up. Most of my uncles, you'll laugh. Most of my uncles were either in jail, dead, probably like on the registry. So we're probably okay. I don't think they were on the registry, but it was just a joke. But most of them were either dead or in jail. So I had one or two good uncles, but the rest of them were like, either dead or in jail. So I wish I would have had you as an uncle. Maybe I would have turned out differently. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't interview you.
Growing like I don't know. It's kind of like I get fascinated by some of the things you tell me, but yeah, I'm a bit too soft with how much I spend on them. Like maybe I shouldn't have bought that. And my sister goes mad about that.
You might get more followers because you've been soft with them. Maybe they actually got you, the wholesome cheese. Almost like an '80s rock song, the cheesy ballads. You're like the Tribal Cheese with the cheesy ballads. There, it's the cheesy ballad style with the Tribal Cheese with the niece and nephew.
I can't remember more goals. I think I'm happy with them goals. I mean, I have no desire to go back to wrestling at all. Although you would want the thrill of the pop. Do I want the thrill?
Yeah, I just we're here with the Tribal Cheese, and it's Tribal Cheese Month throughout the month of February. We're here for about 10 or 15 more minutes. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Your voice, figuratively and literally. We're all wrestling mouths. If you're here, like this interview, hit the sub button for us, and thank you everybody for tuning in. But yeah, I think wrestling. I think you've accomplished more. There'll always be that almost.
Do you? I always said to you what I wanted in wrestling.
What's always win a Rumble, right?
Wrestling, my only goal, what I wanted to do. Do you remember?
Win a Rumble.
That's it.
Win a Rumble. You
That
said
was.
that many times.
I didn't want any titles. I didn't want any main storylines. I wanted a Rumble, and I've accomplished about 6 of them. So
But I think your career outside of wrestling's exceeded it. I mean, you're one of the few people I can honestly say that what you've done in the last year, people. I mean, some of us will remember your wrestling career, but you're going to be remembered legitimately for having millions of views on YouTube and Instagram and like I don't know what I mean. I mean James Taylor, who's here Sunday. I mean, he like still does it, and I appreciate James a lot. He's a wonderful guy, but like he wants to be out there in the ring still. But you don't need it. I just find it interesting that he's got a following like you. He's this TikTok influencer, but like he still wants to wrestle a few more times here and there. Whereas you, it's like I look what I'm doing. I don't need this. It's interesting.
Yeah, I seen him in the ring and I was like, James, what are you doing? I mean, he loves it, but there was only like 3 people there. So
yeah, he wrestled. He came back. He wrestled Anthony Steele and Gabe Sayers, who I met in person, and then he just wrestled. Yeah, he wrestled a couple of times. Yeah, another one, Justin Parsley and Soldier GP, and then he had a match with Felix Jones. Yeah, he wrestles 3 times in 6 months, and like he wants to wrestle more. But it's like I'm done. It's like what do I have to accomplish? I think that's rare because most wrestlers are like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I mean, we talked about the Undertaker before, right? Maybe he's got one more in him, right? Where one more. Ric Flair's got one more in him still. I mean,
I get one more because they're astronomical paid. I mean, when they come out for Saudis, what are they getting paid? Goldberg and that
million. I mean, forget about it. They're probably getting paid. Could be $250,000 in a payday.
Yeah. But no one paid my dental bill when I done my jaw in. No one. I was the one figuring that out.
No, and it's a hot dog and a handshake. Yeah, I get that. And that's why I think. Listen, to me, I just think if you're happy, I mean, like I said, James, he'll talk Sunday and he'll get a crowd like you, and but he'll want to be out there. He'll want to say he's unfinished business. But I think,
would you not say?
What's that?
Would you not say this has been the most positive interview we've had? Very open.
Oh. Well, I think at this point, you and I mean, I think you're on your way. You've made, to 11,000 on TikTok. You're on, YouTube and Instagram. You got the following. I think, I feel like to me, it's the same with me. I feel like I've interviewed 2 WWE guys. Okay, what if it ends tomorrow? I had a great run. I mean, I'll be honest. If it ends tomorrow, I had 2 WWE wrestlers come on the platform. All right,
yeah.
What's the worst? If I said, what did I say today that was bad? Not really anything. I said what was the truth. What most people would have said. I don't think it was. I think it was regardless. It was the most positive. I mean, boy, 3-4 months ago, you would have been on here. Would have been way worse. So to me, I think it was the best interview you've done here. I think it was the best one because I think it was just open. There was no plans. There was just.
As I said, called it. I was talking. If you can't call it, we just winged it. As I said, we'll just wing this interview.
Some guys are like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
It's flown. Oof.
I will say that when I do sports, like I get it because they're not trained to speak. So like I'm okay with that. When I have like university athletes, like I'm okay with that because they're like they're not really trained to talk. So it's like, okay, that I'm okay with like pre-planning it because that's just how it goes. But like when you're here, I think you should just be like, hey, what are we going to talk about? All right, let's go. I always go, let's go.
And I tuned into your show. It must have been about a year ago, and I've not seen him since. And he was like a Pez collector. What happened to him?
Oh well, actually, he's coming back. He's actually been wanting to come on for weeks. He should be here next week. Actually, Dane Johnson. I really owe him. He's actually like. He's wanted me to come to his house, but unfortunately where he lives, it's like far enough for me that I can't get there by like public transportation, but he's been dying to come. No, he'll be here next week. Legitimately, he would have been here next Monday, but he's got a concert, but he'll be here. He'll be here probably the middle of the week. No, he'll be here next week. I promise you, he's the one guy like I feel bad for because for the last 6 months, he's even mailed me Pez. He's been like, he watches my stuff on Instagram, likes my stories. We're going to bring him on. I promise you. Actually, I'm going to tag him on Instagram with this later. He's actually, no, he really like Dane Johnson. He is like, wants to be here so bad, but I got to be honest. I couldn't fit him on here. I've had so many people come on here. You watch these shows. I mean, my goodness.
head on it with your mutton chops. That'd be it.
Well, speaking of one of the companies in question, they were saying things about my mutton chops, and they were saying this and that. I remember it as a joke, but the Dark Cron's going to go. Yeah, we're going to end the show in a few minutes anyway. Thank you, Mr. Cron, for tuning in, and congratulations on 1,000 subs. And all right, so anything else you want to talk about? Anything else on your mind? Anything else I should mention, or you feel you got enough out of your chest? But you better come back here before 8 months. You can't come here every 8 months.
Well, I'm in a good place. Well, we didn't prep anything to talk about, so it was all winged. If people have got something to ask before I go, let them give them.
I mean, I would give the chat if chat wants to ask you a question. We did have a lot. I mean, you had a fair amount of comments. I mean, I think I kind of got the sense that we're going to continue our videos. Check you out on TikTok. We're going to do that Instagram. Check out Instagram. I'm going to put YouTube up one more time. Check you on social media. I mean, I think right now you're the best I've seen you in terms of health and just where you are personally. And I think that should just continue and just keep doing what you're doing. And you're an inspiration to all of us. I think what you did, you can talk about, I'll say it again before we go. You can talk about, that match with Hybrid wasn't very good, but I think it was courageous. I think it was brave what you did. And I think in a lot of ways, it was cathartic. And I think that it helped a lot of people. Mental health is a big issue. And, you should.
A lot about the mental health thing. Yeah, I mean, it was in a bad place for a long time. Like that was a hole that you needed to dig out. But the open video helped, and there was so many people that was reaching out, going, "I needed to see that. I needed to see this."
I said it then. I said you were going to, in the long run, help a lot of people. And James is here. James says hello. But I think you were going to help. That match was not going to mean anything compared to that speech. That speech, not to go down that road again, what you did really, it opened up for a lot of people because people saw that here,
It's an underrated clip that if someone types in mental health, they'll get a comment every now and then going, "This helped me." It's definitely one of those videos that is just there. It just slowly ticks over, that one.
Because I think what you did after that match means way more. Listen, you could have had the best match of your career with Hybrid, but it didn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered because of that speech. So to me, you could talk about, I wish it was, but to me, I think.
Well, you were talking about Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. What part did he show? "I'm sorry, I love you." Super kick.
Yeah.
That's the show. That one moment.
But that one moment means so much in that, like I said, you could have had the best match with Hybrid, but to me, it doesn't matter because of what you said and how you opened up for a lot of people. And I think that that's, the moral of the story. I think that's, to me, your legacy goes far beyond a wrestling ring. Your legacy in terms of who you are as a person, how you conduct your life, and how you're a role model. I say it all the time. You're a role model for people. You've done and how you've represented your family, how you represented your country. You've done that in the past for your service. Thank you for your service. Just in terms of, how you, interact with your fans. I was listening to a rapper, Necro, an underground rapper, and he talked about, they asked him and they said, why have you been able to have this career with these followers, even though you never had a big selling album? And he said, well, every fan I spoke to personally on social media, I run all my accounts, I talk with them. And I think it's the same thing with you. Your fans were here tonight. They came in and you speak with them. I think that's always, I was taught in politics that you had to feel the community, to go and walk up and down the beat. And I think that's what you've done. And that's why I think your legacy, you can say it ain't easy being cheesy, but you are right, because what you've done, but the way you've done it your way. And I think that your legacy will go far exceeding what you've done in a wrestling ring. Not taking anything away from it, but I think your legacy is going to go far beyond a wrestling ring because of how you've conducted yourself personally and the doors you've opened. And I think to a lot of the wrestlers that come here, they've seen you. And I think that, it means a lot to them. And that's why I think we're all happy to have you. And let me pass the baton to you. Let me give you some closing thoughts. Anything you want to plug, share, or say? I'm going to put your YouTube link up here. I'll put the other links up as we go. And the floor is yours. And I think this was the best show you've had here, honestly.
Plug your platform.
But I'm here every day. People know. Yeah, plug me. I'm on Sportzwire. Hit the sub button. Yeah, we know that. I'm here, but I have the advantage. I'm here every day. I get plugged. I get plugged plenty. I had Rhino and Savio. I got to be honest. I do thank you because I do believe if it wasn't for you, every person, I say it, even the people that aren't here anymore, like I believe that everybody, I didn't pay for them. I tell people this all the time. People ask me, wrestlers, did you pay? How much did the Rhino and Savio Vega cost? I said nothing. They wanted to be here. I'll prove it. I mean, I have the screenshots. We were very lucky.
Show them.
I'll show you. Yeah, I think I showed you Rhino's, but I'll show you it again. But yeah, I'll show it to you. I mean, like they wanted to be here, like legitimately. Like they could have went to some other podcaster. Yeah, I'm sure they would have got paid, great. But it was because of a movement that got me to 1,400 subscribers almost, a movement that got me to people like you, a movement that got us to all these doors open. So to me, I thank you, really. To me, every day should be a celebration of most of the people that have come, not all of them, because there's been some duds. And, you mentioned one by name. We're not going to mention that name again, but I think you know who you want to fight. But, but the point is, by and large, we're here to celebrate this sport. We're here to celebrate the people,
If that was a pay-per-view, would you tune in?
That might be a murder, though. I mean, I would tune in, that might be a murder. I mean, it'd be a murder. I mean, I'm sure James would love to tune in for it. James would. I'm not going to ask James that on Thursday, by the way. I will not ask James that out on Thursday.
God, guys that keep me entertained from 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning.
Well, James is one of them. James is back on Sunday. Kron is here Friday. Sean Jovi, they're all talking about you. Anthony Steele was like, "Can I talk to the Tribal Chiefs?" I'm like, "This is his moment today. This is his moment today. His moment." I'm like, "This is your moment." But all right. Anything else you want to say? Will I put up your Instagram one more time? Anything else you want to say? Are you good? You got it all off your chest, or am I missing something?
Things off your chest. I'd like to say thank you to everybody that tuned in and asked the questions. I'm sorry that people on Facebook didn't see it because I've got this so-called shadow ban. Definitely have. You told me about it. I checked it out.
Yeah, Facebook. I got shadow banned about a month and a half ago. I was sharing like so many of my reels because we were talking about this. I get paid on Facebook like YouTube, and you put like, let's say 17 shares in 17 different groups, and like they'll just randomly shadow ban you. You're not banned. You can view you can view Facebook, but they just
profile come in the algorithm.
Yeah, it ruins your out. Exactly. They ruin you, and they do it for like a certain time. But listen, we had fun. It doesn't matter to me at this point. And,
I'd like to everybody that tuned in, my friends, family, D Monks, Marco Ray, Carlos B, Kane Goodwin, Tareen, Assad, Emmy, Nina, B-Sam.
Dan was here. Yep.
Yeah, Dan Dimbu, all the people that tuned in, getting a massive acknowledge.
We definitely acknowledge you, and we acknowledge that it is Tribal Cheese Month on all Sportswire radio platforms. I will give this to you when we're off the air, and this is the Tribal Cheese, and he is back, and we hope to see him back before 8 months from now. And as a reminder, I'm here Wednesday, 9 o'clock British Standard Time with RP Davis. James Barris is here Thursday, to be announced on the time. And I'm here on Monday with Andre Decker, the Odyssey Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. So that'll be interesting. And Zilla, I know this has been asked before, but I'll let Zilla ask you this question. Where did the name the Tribal Cheese come from? Although I know where it comes from, but Zilla would like to know.
Well, the big cheese come from MMA.
Yeah.
And it was actually, we have Manchester and Liverpool, which are like arch enemies. It was actually the guy from Liverpool that we was talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, the Tribal Cheese, acknowledge Brie," and it just come from there. It was just fate that it come from it. That acknowledge Brie. Original Tribal Cheese. It was just a fate movement that two friends shared. It was as easy as that. It just
great. It was great. It was great. I have a shirt still from it, but I wanted to wear this shirt because I thought it was better. And we definitely acknowledge the Tribal Cheese, and we acknowledge Kane and everybody else tuning in. And it was great. It was a great show. And I'll be here later at 9 o'clock Eastern Time with Luke Draven. And
Kane on the platform, he'll give you a different perspective.
What's that? Yeah, I owe Kane that appearance. You know what it is? I tell you what. Well, I'll speak with Kane. I think we're friends on Facebook. I'll message him. I'll message him. Maybe Friday. If I'm home Friday, maybe Friday. Maybe I'll talk to him. See what he's doing Friday. But I acknowledge the Tribal Cheese. We all do. Mad Manx on YouTube. Check him out TikTok as well. Big Cheese Logan. This is the Tribal Cheese, and it's Tribal Cheese Month on Sportswire Radio. Congratulations. Thank you for being the first individual to have their own month. You definitely deserve it. I thought you would get a kick out of that. And we'll see you soon. And can't wait to see which celebrity you meet next and which other person you meet also and everything else you do. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm going to meet is, I'll tell you that right now, a little exclusive. WrestleMania 1 and Singer.
Oh, Cyndi Lauper?
Yes.
You're going to meet? Wow, okay. That's a good one. New York.
Just because of WrestleMania 1. No, I girls one, I had fun in the Goonies, but WrestleMania.
Time was okay. Time after was okay.
Just that okay. I needed to sign a few WrestleMania 1 bits. That's
Cyndi Lauper. I mean, it's Cyndi Lauper. I mean, it's a good one. That's a good one.
The name, everybody knows the name.
Bob Uecker, he died, who was a part of WrestleMania 3 and 4.
Legend getting stroked there, strangled. Yeah,
he died. He was like 90, and people thought he lived forever. But Cyndi Lauper's a good one. That's a good name to reference.
Cyndi Lauper. That's the next one.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about that next. And my name is the Reverend Tom Rice. Thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. And again, if you're on Sportswire Radio, share this interview, follow the Tribal Cheese, and I'll see everybody here in a little while. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And acknowledge the Tribal Cheese because it ain't easy being cheese.